Hello, Facebook. Renee Massey here. So excited to come to you today on this really nice Wednesday. It is heating up in Florida, and honestly, all of you people in cooler climates, you can have it. It's just hot, and the humidity is starting to come in, and I'm just not a really big fan of all that, but I am a big fan of a lot of other things, like channeling. If you noticed earlier, and if you haven't, please look on my feed, on my wall, my page, my profile, that earlier I had posted a channeling. And so on Sunday morning, I woke up, and typically my process in the morning is I get my coffee, have a little bit of coffee, like half a cup, I sit, I usually sit outside, talk to the birds, listen, feel, and really receive. Like, that's my time to receive. It's not about doing, it's not about action, it's not about going anywhere. It's really just about being in a very natural flow. And that's really how I like to spend my mornings, and it has taken me a very long time to establish that. So for those of you that are like, oh, no fair, like I want my mornings to be like that, your mornings can be like this. It required a lot of nervous system regulation on my part to not freak out from doing nothing, because I have always been a very action-oriented individual. And so if you feel uncomfortable with resting, relaxing, receiving, just being still, just enjoying the sunshine, the breeze, the birds, the branches blowing in the breeze. It takes some doing to get there if you've never really been able to get there. But my mornings are about me and spirit and establishing my connection for the day so that I can set some really clear intentions for myself, for my clients, for my family, for my home, for my business, for my client, like for everything that I'm doing. But my day has to start out with a clear head in order for me to really get everything else locked into place the way I desire it to be and the way I desire it to feel. Because honestly, there are a lot of different things that are going to happen throughout your day that might trigger different feelings, and then you're like, oh, I don't really feel that great right now. You can pivot that, okay? You can absolutely pivot that. And so what I really wanted to talk about today is the channeling. So I woke up on Sunday morning, and I do have a very me-centered routine in the morning. I don't have babies anymore, okay? My kids are 17 and 12. I don't have babies anymore. So I do have more flexibility in my mornings now versus what I had in previous years when, you know, they really needed me to help them do all of their morning stuff and getting them ready for school. So this Sunday I wake up, and I made my coffee, and I sat outside for a little bit. And I don't really do anything when I sit outside. I just sit, you know, it's like I just kind of take it in. I take a couple of deep breaths. To me, it's more about establishing a connection and feeling gratitude, you know, and I don't make a gratitude list. I'm not like checking off my boxes of like gratitude or all of the things that I need to do in the morning. It's not like that. It's like I have the things that I really enjoy doing, and they can work in different orders. And sometimes one is less than the other, but it's okay. It doesn't really matter. And so I had been sitting outside, and then I had decided that I was going to come in and I was going to journal for a little bit. And I got like literally 3 words in, and I started to feel like somebody else wanted to be heard, that it was not just me. And so I work with this guide quite often, and he's almost always in my ear. And so I felt it, and I said, oh, okay, so we're going to channel something. Okay. So I just started writing, or continued writing, knowing that I was bringing in this information, that I was allowing a higher vibrational frequency to link in with my consciousness so that I could be the mouthpiece, the vessel, the gateway, the portal for the information. Okay, and that's what we do as channels. We are the portal, the mouthpiece, and the vessel for all of the information that higher level consciousness has the ability to stream through our consciousness and into the world. And why is this so important? Why do we need this? Why do we like this? Why do we care? Well, because when we are making decisions for ourselves, usually we overcomplicate the shit out of things. It's sometimes very difficult to make a very simple decision for us. And the reason why is because we get very tangled in our thoughts and we get very tangled in our emotions. And that halts us, it delays us, and it also kicks up other stories and other things around it. And so as you're weighing things out and deliberating and contemplating on all of these things, and maybe there are stories and emotions that kind of kick up around it, I want you to know that there is a higher self. There is a higher version of your consciousness. There is so much other beings of higher consciousness that are around us all the time, and they know. So what I started doing was I started just asking the questions. I was not always this super clairaudient person, okay? As a psychic medium, most of my gifts were activated through clairsentience, claircognizance, clairvoyance. So that means that clairsentience, I'm really feeling a lot of things. Claircognizance means like I just have a knack for knowing. Don't know how, don't know why. I just know. And then the clairvoyance is I have a very active third eye. So I see, I have visions. I can close my eyes and I can see things happening, okay? I can see attachments, I can see emotions, I can see aura, I can see so many different things, like metaphorical stuff too, that spirit will show me, so that way I can have an understanding of what's going on with my client or the person that I'm reading for, okay? So I channel like this full page of all of this stuff that just poured through me. And it felt so peaceful. It felt like so much love. And it felt like just, oh, my hands are getting so hot. And it felt like pure wisdom. Now, I know who I was channeling, so I don't really have to think about that. I don't have to be like, oh, I wonder who that was. Because I do believe that when you first start channeling, it is a curious thing to be like, I wonder who's stepping forward for me. I wonder who's coming into my energy field. Hello. Oh, you saw it. Thank you. I wonder who's coming into my energy field. I wonder who is wanting to link in with my consciousness so that I can stream these messages. And really, it's about being receptive. It's about being patient. It's about keeping your energy clear, and that means your mind and your heart, keeping your spirit clear and open. And there is a difference between like tapping into energy and actually channeling energy. So if I'm talking to somebody and they're like, I have this thing going on in my business, and I'll bring up an actual thing that happened very recently with one of my clients. My client messaged me, cash flow issue. Like, what's going on? There's delays in payments. There's all these things. Now, I know it's Venus retrograde. I know it's Mercury retrograde. I know that there are little things out there in the cosmos that are calling our attention and testing us to see, like, where are you at and how can we pivot a few things for you. But I also know that we can, like, look into this energy and see what's going on there. All right? So I look into it and I'm like, let me tap in really quick and see what's going on. Now, when I tap into something, that is actually me being active in my energy where I am checking into something. So I can feel my consciousness, my energy reach out and look at something. Like when I am remote viewing, or if I'm doing like distance healing and stuff like that, I can see what's going on, especially because I'm clairvoyant. If you're not clairvoyant, it might come across in a different way for you. You know, it might just be a knowing. It might be something you sense. It might be something you feel. It might be something you hear. Okay? Years ago, clairaudience was really difficult for me. Now, I'm always hearing something. Almost always hearing something. And there are times that I will close it down and I will say, like, we're not doing that right now, you know? And I've been doing this for so many years that it's very easy for me to be like, no, we're not doing that right now, and it will stop. Okay? There are times though that I have been woken up in the middle of the night and I could not fall back to sleep because there were things that spirit really wanted me to write down, really wanted me to get on paper, like would not let me fall back to sleep until I actually got up, got my notebook out and a pen and wrote it down, and then was like the energy shifted and I could go back to sleep. But tapping in is kind of like tapping into super consciousness. Like I'm reaching out to see something. I'm reaching out to feel something. I'm setting an intention that I'm going to access energetic information to know what's going on. And so when my client had messaged me about like there's a cash flow issue, things are stagnant, things are not flowing like they usually are, there's a problem here, right? So I tap in to see what's going on, and I saw that there was like this zigzag energy between like her cash flow and her. And so what I did was I straightened out that energy, like that energetic channel. And then I also did some testing to see like, is there anything else that's going on around here? But that's me tapping in. That's me tapping in. All right. Channeling is, I'm the receiver. I am the vessel. I am the receiver. And I don't have to actually do anything. I don't. So how would you know like if you're channeling? Because here's the deal. I was channeling for so many years, like young, channeling things for so many years because I had a wisdom that didn't make sense at like 10 years old. I had a wisdom that did not make sense at 14 and 15 years old. It did not make sense. In fact, I irritated the shit out of everybody. I asked a lot of questions, I talked a lot, I said a lot of things, and I had a very bold energy that was like, this is incorrect and this is what we need to do. And so very like advocate, very strong, very like bold, but like I care. So I'm trying to understand stuff too. When people struggle to channel, it is because they are so in the action orienting energy that they struggle to sit still and actually just receive. And that is actually what I would want to teach you is like how to relax enough, your mind, your energy field, your body, your spirit, and allow yourself to be the receiver of this consciousness. Because you have guides, you have angels, you have ascended masters, like different beings that want to be around you, that are already around you and wanting to serve you with guidance and support and answers. So what I do is I ask questions and I get answers really, really, really fast now. I'm receptive. I'm open. They know that I'm open. They know that I'm available to receive the message and to not just keep it, but to allow it to flow through me, whether it be through the written word, doing channeled automatic writing, whether it be through doing like channeled healing, where I'll go into like a trance and allow an ascended master or a very high level, high frequency being to utilize me with their energy to pour through and heal. And then verbal channeled messages where I'm going to allow a spirit. I don't usually channel deceased individuals unless I'll link in with them and I will convey what they are saying, but I usually do not let them use my body as a vessel. Okay, so that would be me more of like, it's a very loose channel in mediumship. It's mediumship, but it's a loose channel. I would not necessarily allow a human spirit to use my body, but I would an angel, I would a deity, I would an ascended master, I would a galactic being, all very, very, very high energy, high frequency. And you will feel it because there is an energy that comes in that all of a sudden feels different than your frequency. Like you know your energy, you know your emotions, you know your routine, you know how you feel throughout the day, you know the different things that you are navigating and dealing with and going through. You know what it feels like to sit down and watch TV. You know what it feels like to sit down and read a book. You know what it feels like to sit down and have dinner with your family. You know what it feels like to sit down in a car and drive. Most people do not know what this feels like until they start really doing it. But when you start picking up on the fact that all of a sudden I feel like a wave of peace kind of wash over me, all of a sudden I feel like I'm in the presence of like extremely sovereign wisdom, all of a sudden I feel like I just have this knowing and like this very strong, like I want to say this. I feel like I have to say this. Have you ever said something to somebody else, like talking to a friend or a family member or a coworker, where you know, they come to you with a problem and all of a sudden you're just like, blah, 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 and then you're like, oh, I don't even know where that came from. I didn't even know what I was talking about. I've never been trained in this. How did I know that, right? So that is channeling. You are channeling without even realizing you're channeling. And that is actually a very normal thing for all humans. You do not have to be on a spiritual path or even believe in a spiritual path to channel information. There's consciousness all around you. You can't see it, right? Unless you're really clairvoyant. And then sometimes, like, I can see things that sometimes freak people out, but I can see them. They don't freak me out. I've been working with it for a very long time. And so I've really learned how to manage my expectations and also how to land certain information and allow it to move through me. And then also afterward, learning how to ground my energy, nourish myself, rest, hydrate, and then like journal about the experience so I can understand it better. So channeling is very diverse, but it's actually not difficult. I will say that. It is not difficult to learn how to channel. I think that the hardest part of channeling is not the hard part. Usually every time I am training somebody in psychic mediumship, channeling, trance, I don't even know what else, other things too that really have to depend on, like, it relies on your trust. It relies on your patience. It relies on your ability to hold stillness and to be a clear channel, which means that if you have a bunch of shit emotionally, mentally that you're carrying around with you all the time, you're gossiping, you're complaining, you're bitching about things, you're always finding a reason why things are never right for you, you're validating incorrectness all the time in your life, that is not the kind of channel. You do not want to be a channel with that energy, because what you're doing is you're clogging up your pipe. So if you have a pillar of light, which you do, that runs through your entire vessel, through all of your chakras, and that is like this beautiful crystalline energy that wants to flow through you. And let's say that because, and that would be coming from spirit, that would be coming from whatever it is that you're channeling, but also the fact that like you've got like a lot of gunky stuff inside. You're upset a lot, you're angry, you're sad, you're mopey, you're depressed, you're this, you're that. I'm not saying that if you're depressed or you have anxiety or you have mental health issues that you can't do this. I have had a lot. So that's not the case. You can still have things happen in your life. You don't have to be squeaky clean every day, all the time, but it's important for you to process some of the things that you might be holding on to, because what happens is when you are channeling, all of the stuff that is coming through you as a channel is also moving through your psyche, your consciousness, and your energy. So if I've had a real stink of a day and I've yelled at my children and I've yelled at every other car on the road and I canceled my appointments with my clients and I'm just bitching and I'm complaining and I'm upset and I'm triggered and I'm reactive, this is not the kind of energy to go into a channel. You will start to channel things that are probably not accurate. And it's because the blending of these two consciousnesses can't be so drastically different. They're going to be different no matter what. You are not a deity. You are not an angel. You are not a galactic. You are not an ascended master. You're a human and you are divine. The divinity gives you the ability to channel. The human says there are limitations to what you can handle. And so this is actually a huge part of what I teach, because not only is it like, hey, let's play, let's have fun, let's see what comes through when we channel Isis, when we channel Thoth, when we channel Metatron, when we when we're channeling these different angels, deities, ascended masters. If I channel Buddha, if I channel Jesus or Yeshua, like, I don't want that energy blending with yuck, mucky human yuck. we have limitations to to what we can do with the human. But the divinity part of us has no limitations. And when you start really owning your divinity from within, that is when I feel something really starts to click. Like, I'm connected to source from within me, not without me. I am connected to the universe from within me, and not without me. I am connected to myself from within, and not without me. Okay? So when you start really recognizing that my power is my power, my energy is my energy, my source is my source, this is my channel, this is my conscious connection, my link, and I let that energy pour through me because I trust it, and I know who I'm working with, and I know who's working with me. So for anybody out there, and oh my gosh, I've met so many clients of mine have said this to me, where we would talk about channeling. We would talk about like developing your gifts, your psychic gifts, your mediumship gifts and stuff. And they would say things like, well, how do I know if I'm channeling? And so what I would say is, like, when you say something out of left field that would not be something that you normally say, something that's not normally in your vocabulary, something that, like a phrase that you've never even heard of, but it just kind of flew out of your mouth. You can speak in different tones. You can have a completely different cadence to your voice. You can also have an accent, but there's different levels to channeling. I feel like if somebody's all of a sudden going to start speaking a different language that's foreign to them, they never learned it before, typically the reason is that they're in trance. Okay. And trance is the deepest form of channeling. And that is not what I'm teaching. And when I do teach that, it's going to be an in-person class. Because trance is much deeper. I wouldn't necessarily want people doing trance, in their living rooms while I'm here in my office. And then I can't help you. But with channeling, there's different ways to channel. There's different levels of channeling. And so there's ways to like really start practicing this. And so what I did was I put together a really powerful, incredible bundle. A year ago, I taught a masterclass called The Channel. And it was a 2-hour masterclass that is all about channeling and going into my training, how I learned, what the different obstacles, the challenges were, but then also some of the absolute like best, most amazing things that I was able to bring through in channeling, and then how I've also taught other people how to channel, because I'm actually really, really, really good at teaching others how to channel, it's really teaching you how to trust yourself and relax and be still within in peace, and then like also waiting for something to respond to or something to let in so that this can happen. And so after I did channel, that masterclass, I did a 3-part series called The Conduit. And each of those were over 2 hours each. I taught my clients how to do automatic writing in one of them. So that was like, I don't know, it was a little over 2 hours. Then we did channeled healing, and we did channeled verbal messages. Okay. And it was so freaking powerful. I am going to screenshot and post the testimonials from those 2 things because they were really out of this world. And, when you watch the videos, you will see how people are responding to the channel, and then how they are also giving the healing energy, how they ask questions, how they respond, how I respond. It's a very, very in-depth program. Okay. And so that bundle would normally be $555, and I am actually going to offer it for a limited time for only $111. Okay, and you're going to get a bonus with it. This is a big deal, guys. You're going to get the bonus, which is the Spirit Guide Communication Workshop. And that is over 2 hours as well. And I teach you how to identify and connect with your spirit guides, how to allow their messages to come in, how to use their energy and their consciousness to guide your journey, your decisions. Go left, go right. Stop, wait, pull back. You know, there's so many different things that we're looking at every single day. And they're like, hey, 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 I'm right here. And one of my client appointments today, we were talking about channeling as well. And it was so funny because we were working with muscle testing. We had been working with pendulum. And she goes, I just hear them now. I'll ask a question and I can just hear them say yes or no. I can just hear them. Let me just tell you that a few years ago, even last year, I don't know if it was last year, I don't think she was hearing all that well last year. Like, my point is that at one point, this individual who's been working with me for a while had no real sense of clairaudience. And now she has gotten to the point where she's not really using muscle testing. She's not really using other avenues. She's just actually asking the question and she can hear the answer. And then she's like, okay. And then she goes for it. So how would that feel if all you had to do was ask a question and then just channel the response? Do you feel like you would save so much time in your life? Do you feel like you would have so much more fun? Do you feel like you would establish bigger connections that expand into wider, bigger experiences and opening opportunities for yourself? Because I think I know a lot of times we block our opportunities because we're indecisive. We lack clarity. We're not sure. What is the right way? Which is the best option? Which is the best way to do right now? Which is the best path? What should I avoid? What should I go for? Should it be today or tomorrow? We ask ourselves so many questions and we put so much pressure on ourselves to have the answers. That's when I talked about the head center in human design. I had said, like, this is a pressure center. Your head center is a pressure center, and it drives energy in with this pressure to know and to have information. I am an undefined head, and so it doesn't really work for me to allow this pressure to impact me and to feel like I have to find the answers, I have to get the information, I have to know, I have to know, I have to know. And so I could completely catch myself in that once I was aware that this was a pressure center. And then it was like I asked myself, like, how do I alleviate myself from giving in to the pressure center saying, I want to know, you need to know, I have to know, you need to know, when's this, what's happening with that, when's she going to call you back, when are they going to say yes, what is going on with this, should I launch this week or next week, should I wait till the new moon, should I do it after the full moon, should I wait till a portal day, should I wait till Mercury comes out of retrograde, all of these things. And so based on that, or even pricing things, should I price it at this, should I price it at that, should I price it at this, should I price it at that? There are so many things that I have channeled through, and when I received the message as a channeled message, I knew in my core, the core of my being, that I'm getting the correct information that I need right now. And that correct information is going to lead me to more correct information. And then it actually creates a strong bond between you and your spirit team because there's trust. And when you start really trusting spirit, trusting your spirit team, trusting your angels, trusting the higher level beings that are administering to your soul's journey, that is when you're going to stop really relying so much on this to think and get answers for you, because you have a completely other system that is set up for you to actually get answers, but you were never taught how to use it. You weren't. Most people weren't. 99% of the population was never taught that your brain isn't actually, your mind isn't actually for you. It's for others. And it's not for you to solve all of your problems. That's actually other parts of you. And you can channel those answers. So, this is a very limited time offer. I just want to be super transparent about this. The programs that I'm bundling right now and the bonus, they have been archived. I have not sold them since I taught them last summer, okay? And so they are not going to be out very long. I have other plans for them, to be completely honest. There's some other things that I have in the works right now. And so if this is something that interests you, if you're like, I would love to learn how to channel, I would really love to understand this, you have an opportunity to jump in at a really low cost to take 5 different classes pretty much of what I've taught in regards to spirit guide communication, channeling, automatic writing, messages that are verbal, healing that is actually moving through you from spirit, and you know how to really live as a conduit, how to understand what channeling is, and how to notice what it is. And what I love about this is that there's other people in these programs with me when I'm teaching it. So when they have questions, when they are noticing things, when they are celebrating, like, whoa, I just felt this huge rush, I just felt like this wave of peace, I just felt like I can feel somebody with me, I just got really hot, I just got really cold, like, this is incredible. And it shows you that you're not just here to work. You're not just here to pay bills. You're not just here to honor responsibilities. You're not just here to make sure that your taxes are done by April 15th. You are not just here to raise kids and get married and own a house and hopefully be able to take a vacation once a year. Okay? There is so much more to you, to your consciousness, to your spirit, to your soul, to your wisdom, to your heart, to your love, like everything about you. There's so much more. Okay, so the first 10 people that jump into this offer for $111, all yours. You get the conduit, you get channel, and you get spirit guide communication workshop, all for $111. And I have to tell you that this is almost 11 hours of training. Almost 11 hours of training. And I am going to, like, you're going to love the training that I give. It's really in depth. And it's like I meet you where you're at. Some people have never channeled. Some people never knew they were channeling. Some people have been channeling and they're very well aware and they just wanted to fine tune. So it's all different levels. Okay. So it's either the first 10 people will get it at $111, or it's going to go up to $222 on Friday. Okay, Friday at noon, it goes up to $222. So if this is something that you are interested in and you would like the link, you can actually start right away. Everything is all bundled, packaged up, and all you have to do is let me know that you want it. Make sure you're one of the first 10 so that you can get locked in for $111. On Friday at noon, it goes up to $222, and then on Sunday, it's going to go up to $444. Okay, so I'm really excited about this. The Academy of Astro HD Alchemy starts next Wednesday at 6 p.m. And so in this program, this is a 3-month program. All right, this is a 3-month program. It's a hybrid program, meaning that there's printouts, there's activations, there's recorded lessons and training, so that they're on demand. You get to do those at your own time when you would like to. And then we have group coaching. So we are going to be meeting in a group container, and we're going to be talking about all the things, because module 1, I mean, we're going to be talking about your sun sign, your moon sign, and your rising sign, as well as your energy type, your strategy, and your authority in human design. And we're going to see how these actually translate for each of us, and then how they can actually work off of each other to create like the most divine alignment in your life to just like function, like how you function and then how you evolve in that functioning. It's really quite extraordinary. All right. So if anybody is interested in that, please let me know. That is going to start on this upcoming Wednesday, which I think, oh wait, today's Wednesday. So it's next Wednesday, April 9th. We're going to be starting that. Okay. So I really have missed everybody. I really feel like between mid-February and up until the solar eclipse has been a purge. It has been a clearing, a cleansing, a releasing. And I feel like I kind of went through that most of Pisces season, like just closing a lot of doors, letting certain things be washed away. And that has felt really, really good. So if anybody has been kind of confronting some of those same things, just know that you're not alone, and it's very much part of our celestial evolving that we endure some of these things so that we can purge, so that we can let the death and the decay and the old be sloughed away from our existence, from our life, from our path forward. and then be reinvigorated. You know, you can step into your own renaissance, and then you can have this beautiful reinvigoration, this rebirth. And that's what I feel like is happening right now for a lot of us, with the solar eclipse and us being in Aries season right now. The energy is very different. It feels very like very heightened and charged and fun and exciting, which is what I love, versus where I was, you know, a couple of weeks ago. So I'm feeling really good. I really hope that you are feeling really good. And that's it. That's all I got. So Academy of Astro HD Alchemy starts next week. It's a 12-week container. It's a hybrid coaching class. And I have a really beautiful channeling bundle for everyone for $111 that includes the Conduit Masterclass, the 3-part, no. It includes the Channel Masterclass, the 3-part Conduit series, and then as a bonus, you get Spirit Guide Communication Workshop. All right, so have a beautiful rest of your week. I love you all.